So welcome back to the Spider's Web, and now we are going to be doing another of our models in the Curse of Undeath faction pack, and this time we're going to be doing the Vampire Stalker. And yes, I've noticed as well that the white primer doesn't seem to have covered terribly well, but it doesn't matter, because this one we're going to be going over in black. And let's see, I just picked up the wrong black one. I've got some left in this, so I'll use this one first. Make sure it's used all up. Okay, so the majority of this model is going to be black. I really should have undercoated it in black, but never mind. I'm just going to do black cape. And black hair. And black trousers. And black boots. Well, as a vampire, what do you expect? Here's the old-fashioned medieval vampire, not a colour. Yes, I do know about Twilight. Okay, so we're basically doing on the back of the cloak, or rather cape, in black. We're doing the back in black. Hey, that'd be a good name for a song. And as I said, black boots and black trousers. But I'm not doing the inside of the cape black, I'm going to do that a much brighter colour. Just to break up on the black. We're going to have a nice contrast, and the inside, the lining of the cape, is going to be blood red. And I'm going to give him a purple shirt. And this vampire could be used in one of the Castle Ravenloft scenarios as the young vampire, rather than using the Strahd model. Yes, I thought. So there we go. There's all the black bits done, near enough. Well, just for the cape anyway. So we're going to be doing black boots, black trousers. Hardly touched on them yet. I'm not quite sure what they're supposed to be. Like some form of thigh covering over the top of his trousers. Really should have taken notice on the original paint scheme what it was, but never mind. I suppose when I leave it to dry, I can double check on the photographs as to what exactly it is. So yeah, we really need a nice dark colour for the vampire, especially for the cape. We're going on highlighting this in greys, a sec, so that the actual dirtness won't be or the dirtness of the cake won't be any form of issue. Because we'll need to brighten parts of it up, obviously. Alright. Next, what we're going to be doing is his shirt. I'm going to do that in purple. Yes, it does seem weird doing this in purple when I shied away from it for the Heart of Cormier figures, which were all purples and golds. But I just think a vampire purple shirts, quite gothic colours. And whatever they are over his legs, I'm going to do them purple as well. Yep. Just need to touch over that back bit now where I've just done, because I've got a bit of purple on the black area. It looks as though he's wearing gloves as well. But I'm not going to do him as though he's wearing gloves. It looks as though he is doing, but I'm not sure whether it's gloves he's wearing or it's the cuffs of his shirt. I think I'm going to do him as the cuffs of his shirt and then give him bare hands. There we are. So black and purple. And then we have the final base colour for his clothing, which will be what we're using this time, Scab red. We just used, what colour purple was it? Xereus purple for his shirt. So now we're using Scab red for the lining of his cloak, his cape rather. And we'll be going over this a little later with the blood red to make it much more brighter. Hope you can see how it's going on. Yeah. So there's the base colours. Done. In fact, I've not even thought of not even done his skin yet. As a vampire and undead, he doesn't actually have a normal skin tone. I would have imagined his skin tone being somewhat grey. So what I'm going to do, the skin tone I'm going to be using for him is going to be Fortress Grey, and we're going to just lighten it up a touch with some Screaming Skull as a highlight. We mix some of the Screaming Skull in with the grey to change the flavour of the colour slightly. And I need to go over that bit of shirt with the purple again. Like I say, I always miss a bit. Let's just get his hands done first. I just need to go over the dagger as well with the tin bits. And now his face. And where I'd usually do a wash with Agrax Earthshade over the top of a skin tone, with this being grey, I think I would use like Drakenhof Nightshade, or just basically null oil. That's that done. Now it's just going over the dagger with tin bits. And then we'll just give it a few minutes to dry, and then we can come back and finish off with the highlighting. Okay, very quick and simple paint job so far. I mean, ideally I would prefer to do these brand new from unpainted, but unfortunately it's not to be. Okay, right, now while I'm waiting for this to dry, I will give you a bit of an update on my Castle Ravenloft 3D tiles. What I've done on the start tile, I have changed it slightly. It still looks very similar, but I've used one piece, and I've put two pieces of the edge on it. I'm going to have to stick that down a bit better. So the reason I've done this is because when you put in another piece to it, because the original tiles are 4x4, I want to make something that is 4x4, not 4x3 as it was originally. I took the ones I put on camera off and just made a single piece, and for design I've put the vertical straight pieces in, and then gone round again with the blade and embossing tool to pick out all the stones. So that's the start tile. The corner tile I've done a little bit more on, and quite literally it's still wet, but I have added the edge pieces again to make it 4x4, and I've also gone over all the outsides with the pumice that I used. If you saw my dice tower tutorial, I used white pumice to go over all the external parts of the dice tower, which I'm going to do with this as well. I'm going to go over all the back bits that aren't important, they'll be sprayed white. All the edges, except where they would meet up with other boards. I'm not going to do these edges with it, I'll go over them with, I'll go over that with PVA glue to cover it, so that I can spray it without any adverse effects happening to it. So that's what I've done so far with those. Nothing big, nothing major with them. It is purely and simply just tarting up now. Okay, so let us continue. I think we are dry. Yep. And I'm going to touch up that part on the back of his leg. I think it was where I hit it with the purple when I was trying to paint, when I was trying to do the purple part. I can't see it now. There we are. I'll do there as well, and I'll go along on the top of here. To make sure the cape's sorted out. Or to make it look as though the cape is closed. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to take some black, which I have just for some strange reason cleaned my brush out from, and close the pot. We're going to take some black and add it to our little palette. Add some black, a touch of water, and in the water this time I've actually got a few spots of an acrylic flowing improver, so fingers crossed that might help it to stop drying up as quick while I'm using it. I've never used it before, so I thought I'll give it a try. So hopefully it will allow me to just take my time a little bit more on these and not be rushing as much to get certain things done. There we are. And we're just as usual going over the raised areas to keep the shadow areas dark. And here I can see that being more of a brighter area. And let's add a touch more of the Fortress Grey to our mix to make it a touch lighter. And here we can do just very edges of areas that we want to pick up. I hope you can see that. So I went slightly off camera then. We don't want to cover all of the slightly darker grey, we want to add this as I say, in ultra highlights, but we want to make it look as though this is going into the darker grey, which is then fading out to the black, which is why I'm only doing it on certain parts of the model. And There we go. There is our cape done. We don't want any more. I'm just looking now where I can hit. And that looks to be it. I'm going to just add a touch to the back of his trousers. Next, we're going to be doing his shirt, and this is going to be a little easier because we already have a lighter purple, which is Genestealer purple. Although it's not a very big model, we're using quite a few different paints in this. You may have noticed. And what we'll do is we'll pick out the ruffles on his shirt. Pick out any areas as well that seem to be in seem to be hit by light. And bear in mind, I'm going to be lightening this up a touch in a bit with a spot of Screaming Skull. So don't worry if you can't really see any major difference in colour, because it's going to be, this is just like a first highlight. There we are. And now we'll get our Genestealer purple. We'll rinse our brush out. Get our Screaming Skull. And oops, give the paint a shake first of all. Here we are. And just get a bit of the Screaming Skull and mix in with, I've made it just a touch, when I say a touch, a shed load too pale. I haven't realised I've got so much on my brush. Never mind, just keep going, build the colour up. Here we are, this should do us. And we'll do all the surface bits first. There we are. And then we'll do the ruffles on his shirt. I've got a shirt like that in black. Honestly, I have. There we go, that's picked out the purple in the shirt rather nicely. Finally, it's the Fortress Grey with, as I said, a spot of the Screaming Skull, just to change the flavour of it, and that is for the flesh tones. So we're just changing the flavour slightly, giving it that slightly creamy colour to the grey, and go with forehead, his cheek, oops, can't quite see there, and his chin, his ear. Oops. There we go. What I do need, or I do think I need anyway, is a darker colour as a wash. So I'm going to be putting over some Nuln Oil.